And we're live. Welcome to the second episode of the Yoie and Jordi podcast. I'm Jordi.
I'm Yaha.
And big day in news today is Elon Musk has bought Twitter and officially owns it. Yeah, so a lot going on. We saw the CEO, and the CFO get fired yesterday, as well as a few others.
Dude, it was so classic, actually. Did you see this morning the two guys pretending that they got sacked?
Are you talking which ones? I saw there was two engineers that got fucking sacked and they're standing there with the boxes and shit.
And then the guy says his last name and it's Ligma.
And
the other guy's last name was Johnson.
Was that a prank?
It was a prank. Ligma Johnson, man.
Yeah, fuck it up. Well, fucking got me.
Yeah, that was funny as fuck. But yeah, the whole news is pretty, I don't know, the whole thing is pretty damn funny, but...
Yeah, very interesting. Gonna to see where it's gonna go, because will he actually unban Trump and Alex Jones and all these other accounts?
Yeah.
Will they actually get unbanned, or is this just a big publicity stunt?
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't reckon it is, and I'm not a massive Elon fan. I'm not some big circle jerk. I don't hate him. If it comes down to it, it's like some fucking giant. Never should something like the public square, which is Twitter, should that be owned by some fucking billionaire, and it should not be decided on the whims of that personal man.
Yeah.
Whether free speech basically is allowed. Because it's I think it's a fucking great thing that he's coming in and doing what he is.
Yeah, but because he's so been vocal about free speech and allowing people to talk, that's why it seems like such a great thing to happen.
It fucking oath it's a great thing, but you gotta. That's why it's on the other side, you gotta be thinking about the fact that we live in a world where just that guy's mere personality difference could mean the difference of whether we have free speech, basically, in the largest sort of platform for voicing your opinion. So it's fucking awesome news. I think it's awesome news. I mean, fucking nothing makes me happier than seeing those people that are all about corporate censorship crying because someone is now making it so people can debate your ideas.
Yeah.
It's that's awesome. That's great, but interested to see where it goes, because I did see a post earlier saying, what did he say? It was it had the keyword diversity, but I don't reckon it meant diversity as there's going to be fucking 50% black, 50% white crap. It was there's going to be a board with diverse opinions before they decide what happens. So there's going to be a board meeting or whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm I'm hoping this isn't his thing where he goes, the board's now decided we got to keep banning Trump or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't think it will.
No, I couldn't see that, because so many people are on this hype train. He's for free speech. All these people are going to get unbanned, and rightfully so. It's the public square. It's where conversation happens. It is Twitter, so yeah, but it is where conversation is happening, and banning these massive big figures on there is really fucking down. It's really it's not good for actual conversation to happen.
Absolutely not. And it's okay, some people are racist or whatever, and those views don't need to be spread through society. That's not a good thing, I suppose, but people should be able to counteract that firstly. The best way to challenge your ideas, you should be able to prove your ideas. In argument, prove that you're correct. You don't have to silence everyone like that.
Well, if someone's being overtly racist on Twitter, wouldn't you look at that guy like they're a fucking idiot?
Yeah, exactly.
I wouldn't be some guy saying, I fucking hate black people. I wouldn't be no, he might convince others. Because people that aren't racist shouldn't be convinced to be racist from seeing some dumb cunt say some shit.
Exactly.
That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, absolutely. And if those people are so easily convinced, why aren't you convincing them that he's an idiot?
Yeah, it's that. It's you should allow these topics to be open, because then you can fucking disprove them. Do you want the racist out there saying that he's a racist, or do you want him fucking meeting with only other racists under the bridge and actually trying to plan shit?
Yeah, exactly. And
you want them in the open.
Yeah. And we live in such a world of corruption, and clearly the world isn't fucked, but there's some seriously shit stuff going on. And do you want to... so the government is clearly corrupt and lies and shit like that all the time. And if you silence some racist or whatever, you give him that credibility and that maybe he's dangerous to the regime because he has something important to say. It's like silencing him only actually makes him look more legit.
It only actually brings more attention to it as well.
I'm never going to listen to some bloke that's on CNN.
Nah, fuck.
Because they're only going to talk to people that want to reinforce the agenda. And, like, I mean, fuck, I would listen to someone that will go on CNN, but they're more restrictive in who they would talk to.
Yeah. I think there's a good example of just, like, locally in Melbourne what's happened recently with this is they've recently banned, like, displaying the Nazi flag anywhere. Like, not a Nazi, obviously, don't display the Nazi flag, whatever. But, like, they've banned it for, like, you can't just hang it up in your window, whatever. So, like, who would do that? But if you want to do that, you should be allowed to fucking do that.
Even if it's a piece of history.
Yeah. Well, it's just like, fuck, what? If there's Nazis there, he should be allowed to display it. Doesn't mean you have to agree with it. Doesn't mean you have to fucking be like, oh, you've got to respect his opinion. You can call the guy a dumb cunt. You can call him an idiot. But he should be allowed to... Banning his opinion, only makes it more powerful.
Yeah, absolutely it does. Just like, I don't want to support stuff that they're promoting.
Yeah.
And it's like, we've gone like said that, but yeah, exactly, it does make them way more legit.
Well, because if you believe in free speech, you believe that people that disagree with you deserve the right to speak too.
And that's the great thing about America. When they're founding, I can't remember who said it, but it's like, that line, it's a bit cliche, but it's like, I might not support him or whatever, but I defend to the death his right to say it or whatever.
Yeah, it's that. That's what freedom of speech is.
And that's what's so weird, because it's gone around in this whole thing of, like, it was so crazy, man. It's like, I know the left, it isn't actually against corporations and everything. It is still just a faction of capitalism, capitalist supporters and things like that. But it was weird to see when Twitter started banning people, they'd be like, it's a private corporation. You know? It's like, well, we live in a world where corporations kind of organise everything we interact with. So, yeah, that guy could have his free speech, but he has to do it on Parler where there's 3 people.
Yeah.
It's like, private corporation. Why is anyone saying that? Especially someone, the left, you know what I mean? It's just weird for them to see people that...
A bit of hypocrisy in it is like, Twitter's a private organisation, they can ban who they want, but then you're against Elon Musk owning it. It's like, but that's private corporation, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
So you're only for private corporation banning shit when it's on your side of the political spectrum.
Yeah.
So it's that hypocrisy in, like, they don't care about what you're saying as long as it's with their team. They don't care about freedom of speech as long as you're with their team. It's good.
Exactly, and I think that goes to, like, both sides don't really have any principles. No. Right and left, they're both two factions of corporate elite, essentially.
Yeah. They're a different flavour of the same thing.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you go, like, Republicans and Liberals versus the political system in Saudi Arabia. The right and left in America are the same thing. They're different to the one in Saudi Arabia, a different faction of elite, but in comparison, they're basically the same. Oh yeah,
they're not changing status quo things.
Yeah, it's like, what do they say about Republicans, man? They're basically Liberals, but 10 years ago. You don't hear them complaining about gay marriage anymore. You know, they're for gay marriage. Now it's the trans thing, but you give it 10 years, they probably support that too.
Yeah, maybe. I think you told me about this one time where it was Republicans more represent, like, the landowning capitalists, where the Liberals more represent, like, the tech industry
big
kind
tech.
of capitalists, like the big like the corporation capitalists instead of the landowning capitalists.
Yeah, absolutely.
Where that's a way to kind of differentiate them.
Yeah, exactly, and that's why that, like, when it came to the recent elections, Joe Biden and Trump, you looked at where all the billionaires were actually putting their money, and this is what really pisses me off about right-wingers as well. They blame it on Marxists and stuff like that, and communists. All the money was coming from going to the Democrats. The Democrats aren't Marxist communists, they're funded by billionaires. They're the big party that they mainly support because of tech. And then, like, and it comes with, like, the landowning sort of thing. that goes with the Republicans, they're not as inclined to go for the globalist sort of view, you know what I mean? Because they have national interests, their money lies nationally, whereas tech companies, they want to be fucking spread around the world because they don't have that, you don't have that literal physical land holding them to that area where they want restrictions or whatever. They want to be able to go everywhere and bring in everyone and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, it is a lot different like that, but they're both similar.
Yeah, no, definitely very well. They're both like a part. Like they both things have started. Both parties when they're in power have started wars. It's like they're all like still funding the military. It's like none of them are really vastly different. Like they would actually change how America operates on like a geopolitical scale.
No.
Like it would still operate the exact same way. Surveillance stuff, all that kind of bullshit.
Exactly, and it's not as solid as it's all landowning. It's all that. It's fluid as well.
Yeah, it is.
And so, like you said, the military-industrial complex, or whatever the fuck they call that thing, that's kind of in the middle. That goes for either way.
Yeah, it doesn't change no matter who's in charge.
No.
Like what's happening in like Ukraine, for example, and all that. I don't think, depending on who was in charge of America, if it was Biden or Trump, I think it would still be going the same way.
Exactly. You see that interview Trump did? He went on a podcast, and he was saying that Putin would never have done it. He still went on that hard line, sort of supporting Ukraine a little bit. And it's like, if you actually, like, because Trump is in that position, if he was playing it smartly, he would have been like, it's like how he did with the vaccine shit. All of a sudden, he's like pro-vaccine. Yeah. Whereas if he was actually reading sort of what people are saying, the way to go, he would have been anti-vaccine, and he would have been fucking proxy war in Ukraine. But that goes back to where you're saying that they would do the same thing. Yeah. Because even someone like him is just part of it.
Yeah, it's different side of the same coin. It's like they look a little different, they taste a little different, but they're just the exact same thing.
Yeah, exactly. It's interesting, but we'll see. I don't know. I don't know what major change I'm hoping from all this Twitter.
I would like to see, like, obviously Trump unbanned, because one of the best follows out there. Cause
yeah, he's fucking funny.
Hilarious guy. Not a massive Trump supporter, like, whatever. But at least he kind of has a different feel to, like, the general politician that you would get.
I think he shook it up a little bit.
Yeah, he did definitely shook it up a bit. Like, a character in politics like him is out of the realms of what you'd say 10 years ago.
Yeah. I reckon, yeah, exactly. And it's like, he's not necessarily going to change everything for the good, obviously not. No. But it's like he makes it, instead of going from, politics is this thing that no one really cares about, it's just, every day it's the same thing. Now all of a sudden there's the shake-up. And it's like, oh, wait, shit can be different. It doesn't have to operate this way. It's not just, fucking Obama, Bush, just suit and tie, acting respectable. I mean, they're fuckwits, but you know what I mean? Just acting polite. And then some cunt comes in there and he's like, you're a fucking loser. Yeah. So, holy shit, man, this is nuts.
Yeah, definitely. That's what's good about Trump, is that he's shaking things up. Not that, he's the best politician and he's going to change shit for the working class, because he's not. No. But he's making it more of like a spectacle in the way. Yeah. Instead of everyone's shaking hands, it is that you're a loser shit.
Yeah. There's something to look at. I mean, obviously I've come older, so I'm paying attention to politics more than when I was a kid. But I reckon he's made a massive influence in, like, it also comes with, like, meme culture and all that crap, it's like all this shit spreads like nuts now. Now everyone knows everything about politics. Mostly. But I don't know, there's a lot to see still. Oh, hang on. I know. I'm still hoping for, like, a working class movement. I sort of mentioned it last time, but I didn't really say it properly. I don't know. Like, when you think of a working class movement, what do you think?
See, I feel like it couldn't come from, like, politicians. I don't think it could start or originate from, like, people being elected into power and they changing things. Like, if you look at like the French Revolution, for example, there was a certain point where they were going to hold an election, but the king wouldn't let them hold it, so they just held it somewhere else, and they were just deciding shit for themselves.
Yeah, and
They
to just
weren't
force a
going-
will, it just change it.
Yeah, they weren't going through political systems to change shit because it doesn't change shit because at the end of the day, politics always is going to do what politics does. It's going to be in someone's interest
Yeah.
who's actually putting through like the policies or whatever.
Yeah, it's like trying to change it from the inside.
It doesn't work.
No. And it's never going to work, you know what I mean?
No, exactly. Like it won't work. So I feel like it would have to come from like social movements and actual working class people doing something different.
Mm.
And like from fucking actual like violent revolution to just operating stores differently. Like I've seen some strikes in some places where like in Japan they had some like bus driver strike, which I thought was good, where they would continue to drive the buses, but they weren't going to charge people anything.
Mm.
Whereas that actually it's not really going to change massive amounts, but it's a good way of striking because the utility is still there, but people aren't paying for it.
Yeah. It is a hard one because it's almost, I mean, fuck, if it was so simple, it would already be done.
Yeah, definitely. Like you're 100% right there. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know, like, I just feel like, I don't know, it's hard to express, but that's the direction I want to go. I'm hoping, because like, this is the thing with censorship, it's like, yeah, they were shutting up racists or whatever, but they're also going to shut up anyone that actually poses a credible idea on how to change the system.
Mm.
And that's why you get all these people, like you see it on Twitter, and they're like, oh, you don't want people propagating all this racist stuff, we got to stop that and stuff. It's like, well, who's in charge of stopping that? And are they going to stop anyone that criticises them? Obviously.
Yeah, well, they're going to make sure that their fucking ideology is what's supported and any dissenting ideas are banned.
Yeah.
And, like, obviously, like, racists are getting banned and shit. Like, yeah, alright, well, that's not, like, I don't care.
Well, they're the most, it's like the terrorist thing. You play, like, sorry, but, like, you go, we got to stop the terrorists from doing stuff, so we have to watch the people's stuff online.
Mm.
You use the most obvious thing that's kind of like a fucked up thing that people are going to be like, oh yeah, that's bad. You know what I mean? So it's like, oh yeah, we got to stop the racists, obviously. That's why we have to do these crazy measures.
Mm. Yeah, but then it's the collateral damage of that is it's going to be actual ideas that aren't racist but against status quo that are going to get banned as well.
Mm.
Like there was one account that I was mentioning earlier that got banned from Twitter, and I can't remember, I think it was Eric Weinstein was talking about it. I'm not really familiar with his politics or whatever. I think he could be a centrist or something.
Yeah, I just remember like the intellectual dark web.
Yeah, the intellectual dark web. Yeah. Funny shit. But there was this Twitter account where they were looking for like candidates to run for a presidential election.
Mm.
And the idea is they would have a president and a vice president from different perspectives. Like, so you'd have a left-wing president and a right-wing vice president, or the opposite way around, whatever. And so that you could have like both sides kind of communicating to run the office. So a bit of compromise in how they would actually run America.
Yeah.
And that account actually got banned from Twitter.
Yeah, right.
Which is like, so now you're just banning something because it's like, what was the reason for banning that account? It doesn't make sense. It's like perfect discourse of actual compromise. Not that I think that that's what would make America such a better place if you did this idea. But it's strange to ban that.
Yeah, exactly. And that goes to where they'll ban shit that has really nothing to do, there's nothing shocking about that. Like, yeah, honestly, I think that idea is, it's stupid if you think that that's actually going to make the difference. That, you know, if you want to live in a world that's not full of corruption and just retarded, divisive politics that, I mean, it's just not relevant. Like, half the shit that's talked about now it's not relevant to what we should really be talking about.
No. See, that's what I think is, they didn't ban that account because, it's going to shake up the political system. I think they might have banned it because, like, there was a big thing about, like, hate and shit, like, is really good for, like, getting views and attention. And, like, if you're trying to promote something that's about compromise between two, like, political leanings, that's not promoting, like, hate and dogma between each party. So, like, it would stop that, this left-winger fucking blah, 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 talking shit, and same way vice versa, like, this right-winger fucking racist, blah, blah, blah. It's like, instead of having those people talking to each other, it's about having them fighting. Like, it's trying to promote that, it's them, they're the enemy kind of thing they're promoting.
Yeah. Well, division is obviously like a good thing of way of keeping the population sort of controlled. Whatever the old divide and conquer bullshit. Yeah. I don't know. It is strange because at the same time I see that because I don't think the politicians are in charge. They're essentially managers, I would say. They're like managers of making sure the economy functions the way it does. Like you look at a country, Australia's found, they set up a government or whatever to like legitimise the economy and all that stuff. Like that's the role they sort of serve. So there's like it is also like obviously good to have the sort of the people that are but are stuck in a position of doing all the labour, so that the people that sit on their ass can have all the stuff they want. You want them divided so that they don't overthrow you. You also want them to be like a big blob of the same thing, so that way they function really well. You know what I mean? Like you want them just to do what they have to do, work or whatever. But you want them to be I don't know how to explain it. But
you want them to feel like they live in a democracy. And where is that?
So they don't necessarily want to be at conflict with each other. You want them to work with each other at the same time.
Yeah.
So you don't want them to be too divisive. You don't want a fucking civil war. That's horrible for. I mean, it's probably good for some parts of the economy, like if you're selling weapons.
No.
You know what I mean?
Although it's not good in like a long-term plan.
No, it's not.
Civil war probably great for making a bit of money if you're a weapons dealer, but also if the wrong team gets in charge, you're done.
Exactly.
So they don't want civil war. They want us to just dislike each other, but still work together.
Yeah. Like stable, but you want the treadmill still running.
Yeah.
Because it's funny, because I was just interested, I was Googling, what are the longest standing families of like wealth, you know what I mean? Like fucking how many centuries? And I was looking at one of the biggest in America. And the list I come up with was shit, because obviously there's some European families that have probably gone there for fucking 5 centuries.
Yeah.
I've seen some shit, it was like the tax records for Italy or something like that. Like they compared them in 2014 with 1427 or something. Or maybe 1600, I don't know, 400 years, something like that. And it was like the same last names and shit like that were at the highest tax bracket.
Fucking hell.
But the American one, so the list must have been shit, but either way, the American one, because that's obviously a smaller, less long, hasn't lasted as long.
Smaller history, yeah.
But one of them made most of their money during the Civil War, selling gunpowder, I'm pretty sure. It's like pretty crazy shit.
So Civil War is great.
For some people.
For some people it is great.
But yeah, I don't know. It's such a crazy time right now. I'm definitely interested to see how it all plays out. Like that classic meme we'll fucking laughing about, it's like the people marching forward to misgender shit.
Great meme. It was just like different characters from shows marching towards something, and the caption was me and the boys coming to Twitter to post like crime statistics and misgender people. And I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah, and to see the battle that's probably going to come between them and all.
Yeah. No, I've been on Twitter recently and done a couple of little fucking arguments on one of me alt accounts, and it's just like people are like they're hating on Elon Musk, saying like, oh, this is dangerous, it's going to be horrible for everything, he's going to attack anyone or stop anyone from talking bad about him. And it's like, that's not the whole idea was for free speech. It's like, why are you scared of him unbanning Trump? Like, why are you scared of this? And they would just straight up be like, you're a transphobe.
Yeah.
You just hate trans. It's like, I don't.
What are their arguments so weak that free speech completely destroys them?
Their arguments were personal attacks.
Yeah.
They were saying that I'm transphobic and a bigot because I think that Trump should be allowed to post on Twitter.
How much weight do those carry anymore? Do you think there's does anyone get called a bigot and actually care anymore? Maybe celebrities.
I think if you have if your career is based on the social sphere and you rely on people liking you to have a living, then you're probably worried about it. But if you're fucking working at the docks,
I reckon, man.
no one cares, man.
Yeah, that's 100% true. They don't care, but
No.
they never did.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, probably the best thing that could happen to someone like Joe Rogan is to get cancelled.
Well, like you see that he there was an attempt to cancel him.
Oh, multiple.
Yeah, well, every day. But
Yeah.
like they have tried, and it shows something when someone is attempted to be cancelled and it doesn't work.
And that's who was the first one that sort of happened to? Joey Diaz was a big
Joey
one.
Diaz did get it a lot, but you can't cancel him because the guy's fucking. He's joking. He's fucking hilarious. He's not a great guy. Obviously, he has a bad record, but I think he's hilarious. He's definitely fucking been to prison for it. He's out. He's just having a good time now, being nice. It's like, what can you say? You're going to ban the guy? It's fine.
Yeah, and the thing, I think Joe Rogan actually said it. I actually don't know if he did, but he ended up doing it though. But they got to like not apologise, because as soon as you apologise, like say if I'm apologising to you for being racist or whatever, it's funny we keep talking about that sort of shit. But if I apologise to you, then every time I speak, I'm kind of looking at you to see if you approve of what I'm saying. But if you don't apologise to you and you call me racist, I'm like, whatever, just keep going. You know, like, it has a big effect.
Yeah, no. Well, it almost plays better to double down.
Yeah, like cardiac.
Yeah. It's like, if I get called a racist, it's like, then just keep saying what I was saying, but even more extreme.
Yeah.
Because, it's really showing that, like, if you don't care about it, and because most people don't care, I'm not, like, looking out like, did he say something racist? No one cares. If someone said something off colour a few years ago.
No, my God, have you been in high school, man? It's like the shit I would say.
Yeah,
I remember posting fucking memes on Facebook when I was like 14 or something, and it was a picture of an Aboriginal, and it said, fuck 40,000 years here, and all I invented was a stick, or some shit like that. It's like, how could I get cancelled for what I said when I was 13? Well, I mean, I said it last week too.
No, but because if you keep making the content and people keep watching it, then the cancelling doesn't work. And
there's a massive audience that fucking hates that shit, the cancelling. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
Massive audience that hates all that fucking thought police crap like that. And like, if you get cancelled and stand up to it, they're like fucking... Everyone's looking to you now because they're like, this guy's a fucking legend. Like, it's pretty massive, all that crap. And like,
yeah, well, I think that like the woke cancelling crowd is definitely like a vocal minority.
Oh God, yeah.
Most of the people you meet aren't that like blue-haired radical fucking. They're not telling you off for saying something that you shouldn't have said. And
no,
no one's doing that, and occasionally you'll meet one, but I think they're most of the people that talk online.
Yeah, well, when we were today, we went down to the, what's it called? Chadston, the shopping centre.
Yeah.
Big fucking mall, whatever. Yeah, shopping centre, and we walked past. Everyone in there is pretty normal, you know what I mean? And then we walked past, there's like one blue-haired chick, remember? And we walked past him and you're just like, Jesus.
It was someone with like, it was two chicks, one with like one chunky one, and she had, it was like bald but like spikes coming out of her hair. And the other one with, horrible haircut. It's like, what are you doing? It was like a failed attempt at being punk.
Yeah.
And the other one was like blue hair and shit. And it's like, walked past me, like, it's like, Jesus, I would not want to talk to them.
But as if they're going to police you.
Yeah, well, as if they're going to control what is said. It's like these cunts are the most obscure, random, like, they aren't good people.
Dorks, man.
Yeah, they're dorks. No one cares what they think. No one talks to them.
Like, fuck, I feel mean. Like, they're probably a nice person, down, but like, they're fucking losers. They look like teacher's pet in high school.
Yeah.
That's what they look like to me.
Yeah, and why would the working class want to listen to that?
Yeah, exactly. But they have such a massive... It's crazy how the whole shit has like worked itself into like this crazy position of like authoritative power. Like, if you don't follow some obscure rules that we just came up with, like they they were having go at people that were like, oh, I don't see colour or whatever. It's like, you just made up this new rule that you have to see colour. Some people aren't as tuned into fucking Twitter and your stupid uni education to know the fucking latest rule you came up with last week, and you're fucking policing on them.
Well, fuck, it kind of leads into like all that gender kind of shit. Where like, fuck me, how many genders are there now? I literally just saw on Twitter the other day, someone's pronouns were ghost and ghost self.
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck is this? Who is going to use that? It's like, in what circles is this acceptable? Oh, Ghost just walked out of the room.
Imagine I started doing that shit.
Yeah, oh my god, man. It just doesn't make sense. It's just, how obscure can you get with it?
Yeah, I've seen something, it was saying, similar to that in that vein, but it was like, I don't know if it's just a troll and I've been fucking like, ate the onion or some shit. But they were saying that they fucking, I don't even know where I found this. Maybe I dreamt it, man, for God's sake. But I swear I heard that there was, man, why am I so retarded at thinking? But they said that they put a kitty litter tray in the school toilet.
No, I'm saying shit about that.
Did you hear that?
And I keep hearing people say it's fake. But then I saw someone on Rogan say that, no, Rogan said that he knows someone that's a teacher at a school.
Yeah, that's right.
Said that they had to, like, put one in.
Yeah.
So is it happening or not? Because, like, heaps of people saying no one's putting a kitty litter tray. But then it's like, people are saying that, there are fucking kitty litter trays. It's, what is it real?
Nuts, man.
Like, if that becomes the norm.
At what point do these people not have a friend that will call people out on shit? If you started trying to take a shit in a fucking box in my bathroom, I'll fucking put your face in it. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck are you doing?
I fucking saw this thing on Twitter. And it was this, like, obviously, it's like one of these people that identifies as a dog or some shit. And he was going down the street, like, full leather dog mask, kink gear kind of shit, you know?
God.
And he's like on fours, prancing down the street. And people are in the comments like, oh, this is disgusting. And people would be arguing with him like, oh, but he's not hurting anyone.
Oh, for fuck's
sake. And it's
sake.
like, that guy's mentally ill. It's like, this is fucked. That's not normal. That's not sane behaviour.
God, no.
If I went around and started acting like a fucking emu and pecking people with my nose, okay, then I'm hurt. If I started pecking the ground, picking up fucking scraps off the floor with my nose...
Call me a fucking ambulance.
Yeah, get somebody to help me. I need to be locked up.
That's what they don't do enough these days. They're doing psychology, mate. Apparently they actually have lowered the numbers massively.
Yeah, well, because therapy has gone from, you have a problem, to affirming people's beliefs.
Yeah.
Like having, like, there's all this thing with, like, kids and shit like that, where, like, a lot of trans kids is a big topic.
Can I just quickly jump in?
Yeah.
Wait, actually, go ahead and I'll say it after.
There's, like, so for kids, they have trans affirming therapists. So you'll go to a therapist for your kid, and the therapist will tell you if your kid's trans or not. If your son is fucking saying, oh, he wants long hair, and you take him to that therapist, he's going to say he's trans no matter what, because he wants long hair, and that's typically a girl trait.
Oh, it's so retarded, man.
So you can no longer have little boys with long hair.
Exactly.
Because, that's a girl now, and you're going to tell that little boy he's a girl, and you're going to fuck with his head.
How the fuck did we get to the point from, if you're a girl, like, fuck, you don't have to be a ballerina, you don't have to spend your life in the kitchen. You can be whoever you want to be. Whether you want to be stereotypically what a girl does, or maybe you want to do something like, freeing. And how do we get from that to, if you wear a piece of, like, what is a fucking skirt? A piece of cloth that doesn't have pants. How do we go from that and lipstick and long hair makes you a woman?
Yeah, it's the hypocrisy of the trans movement.
Reinforcing gender stereotypes.
Yeah, you can no longer have feminine men because those men are now women. They're trans women now, and you can't have butch girls because they're boys now.
Yes,
but it's like, isn't that less progressive? If a guy wants to wear a dress, and he's a guy in a dress and he has long hair and he wears makeup,
he's fucking weird.
Yeah, fucking. Yeah, it's a bit unordinary. But
I wouldn't hang out with him.
I wouldn't. But this fucking that he's just a guy that likes certain things, and that's different. But now it's not progressive to say, oh, he's a woman because he's doing women things. Isn't that affirming gender roles?
It's so fucking nuts, man. The whole thing's stupid. And then this is what I was going to jump in before that I actually put down as a note. In the NHS, they've now changed it so they've made it way more difficult to get gender reaffirming care. So it's like puberty blockers, all this crap, which sterilise people, by the way.
I mean, they're literally things they use on like rapists and pedophiles to chemically castrate them.
Yeah, exactly. It's like you can't put a pause on shit like that.
Yeah, no, you can't pause.
It's not a video game. You don't just fucking like... It's not like Pokemon when they're going to evolve and you say B, no. It's like, you know what I'm saying? Though?
Yeah, no, I know what you're saying.
But now in NHS, which is like, this is... I'm like, we were saying last week, the massive, I don't want to say the right resurgence, but the fucking tables have flipped, man. Big time, because now even the NHS is saying, yeah, you can't just, they're not going to do that. Now it's way more restricted. Doctors, medical doctors, as opposed to therapists, are now going to be in charge of it. So like, when I read this, I was like, fuck. As if something good actually is happening. They're not trying to fucking mutilate everyone's kids anymore.
I think
they're trying to stop that.
It might be because like, so you have like, working class parents. They don't have all the time in the world. Like they're at work, they're taking care of their kids. They don't have all the time in the world to fucking watch politics and comment on shit. But then politics has started to go, oh, well, we're going to start pushing our ideology onto kids.
And now they've flipped.
And that's when, you see all these videos online now of parents at fucking school board meetings fucking shouting down, like, what the fuck is this? Like, you see a lot of, why is this book in fucking the library where it's fucking Sally giving Joe a blowjob and 10 different techniques you can do better? It's like, why are kids in fucking 5th grade?
How you fondly fall.
Yeah, it's like, why is this in a fucking primary school?
Yeah.
This is ridiculous. And like that, mate, if I was a parent, I wouldn't want my kid in fucking school. Because they're going to just start calling my son Sally. And they won't tell me for like fucking a year. Next thing you know, I'm going to be fucking charged because I didn't call him Sally.
Well, that's it. It was getting beyond ludicrous at a certain point. There was like, I mean, fuck me, I might be just talking shit. I might have been told bullshit. But you see the story of like some autistic kid, which most trans people are, autistic kids who already don't fit in, and they're trying to work out why, and then they're being told this is why. Some autistic kid getting taken away from his parents because his parents didn't want to fucking do it. And it's like, what? You're going to take a kid away from his family because they didn't believe this nonsense that's come out in like 2 years? You know what I mean? It's just like...
I remember I actually saw this video, and it was this guy. His whole point was like, oh, if it can happen to me in Texas, it can happen anywhere. But so he divorced his wife, and his wife started to transition his son into a girl, and he said no, like you can't do that. But she can just do it anyway. She doesn't need his permission, and she can just do it.
It's so fucked,
and
man.
So she's stealing his son from him and just putting her fucking ideology onto him. Posting pictures of his son dressed as a girl online.
No, for fuck's sake, I'll fucking kill myself.
Mate, how is this allowed? That you can just, it's gone so fucking bad politically that, we can just fuck around with kids' hormones.
You can't do fucking experiments like that.
Nah. You don't, we probably do know the long-term repercussions of these medications.
Well, I think that's why this is happening now. I mean... Like, I think this is why it's happening, the NHS thing. I mean, obviously this is in America, they're probably, I don't know what's going on there, probably still fucked. Oh, they had something happen, but I think it's because the efficiency of these fucking medications was like saying this is actually increasing sterility, making them sterile, it's making them easier for them to get STDs, HIV is all way up in all these people and shit like that. It's like, because they're not effective. I mean... It's just ridiculous. Like, which isn't obvious to anyone else from the get-go. I mean, even if the medication didn't give them STDs, you should be teaching people to be comfortable in who they are.
Yeah. There's a big thing of like, oh, like, and do you feel like a boy or do you feel like a girl? It's like, I've been a boy my whole life. I've never been like, oh, I feel like a boy.
No, I feel how the fuck would I know? I just feel like what I felt my whole life.
Yeah, I've never been like, oh no, I've had a moment where I realised I was a boy. It has never been a question for me. Because I'm in a boy brain. If I feel like I'm a girl, I'm the boy's brain interpretation of what a girl would feel like.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is delusional.
Exactly.
That's like literally a delusion. That's why I call it like body dysmorphia or whatever they call it. Because it's an actual like mental illness.
Mm.
And it's like, instead of I always think of like anorexia and shit like that.
Yeah.
You bring an anorexic person in, they're like, oh, I think I'm fat, and they're fucking a stick and bones, you know? Like, they're just nothing. They're just bones and skin. Do you have the therapist tell them, yeah, you are fat?
You're just being your authentic self.
No, not even that. Because it's that you're telling them that they are fat.
No, that's what I'm saying. The therapist is...
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, true. Okay, I get what you're saying.
If I go, oh, I'm a girl, and they go, oh, yeah, you are a girl, it's the same, like, mental condition, just different variation of it. But it's like me telling an anorexic person they are fat, and I'm affirming and helping them. But what I'm doing is I'm saying, I'm letting their mental illness prosper and fucking, I'm watering their mental illness.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, fucking... It's very interesting. The whole thing, it's a big thing, I think, like all of it, you go into, anorexia is different because that's not really posted like a good thing, but like obesity, for example, like I'm going to go into a different thing. Overarching sort of thing, it's like, the consequences of our society is, well, you look at our systems, man, our education systems are fucked. I finished school here. I learned shit ton more myself since leaving school. Like, the education was so horrible, and then you have all these, like, a lot of people are in poverty. They don't have many options, you know what I mean? It's like where we were from, it was basically be a tradie or work in a fish and chip shop.
Yeah.
And that's nothing to aspire to.
No, definitely not.
It's like, so there's, and it's like, housing is fuckloads times more expensive compared to the average like wage or median wage. So it's like your dream, like there's no fucking American dream or Australian dream anymore, like in that post-war period. It's like there's nothing to go for, so people go into, like, this isn't the only reason for crime, there's all cultural reasons and shit that go into it as well, but like there's all these whole like negatives. So like people are overweight as fuck because they haven't been taught how to properly eat. They don't have the motivation to be healthy or whatever, you know what I mean? There's all these problems with society, and instead of like the people in charge or the people that could actually make an influence or whatever, instead of going, oh, we need to solve what is leading to these issues, they're going, like with the fat acceptance, they're going, oh no, you're just beautiful who you are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're transgender because you're clearly mentally fucked from a society that's gone off the fucking net cliff. And it's like, the same with like in America, how they're showing videos, people are just stealing shit openly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm not crying for big corporations here, because they're part of the problem. They're exactly part of the problem. People are just stealing shit, and they're going, oh, that's legal now. You know, they're just saying all these horrible things. Oh no, they're all good. They're all fine. It's all fine if people just steal heaps of shit. It's all fine if you're completely overweight. They don't deal with the issue. They just say every fucking terrible problem is okay. You know what I'm saying?
No, instead of actually, it's like a band-aid on a flesh wound.
Band-aid on a flesh wound.
People have to steal to, some people have to steal to survive.
Some of them are just doing it, but in general. Yeah,
some people are just doing it for the fuck of it. Some people have to do it to survive, and making it okay that some people have to steal to survive isn't a good thing, because you shouldn't have to steal to survive.
No, stealing is wrong.
Like, yeah, if I stole
I'm not crying for
shit,
corporation.
it wouldn't be good.
Yeah.
It's morally, it's wrong, but like, in the big picture system, like, some people have to do it.
And I don't think there's anything really wrong with stealing from these corporations that kind of influence the government to make it this way. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, there's a massive difference between me stealing from you and me stealing from Walmart, fucking Woolworths, who the fuck cares, you know? Woolworths just got done a few years ago, or last year or something, for underpaying their employees like $300 million in wages. I'm not crying over people stealing from that in that sense. But you shouldn't be like, oh, stealing's okay then.
I remember reading a statistic years and years ago, where it was like most of the theft, like if you're looking for like dollar value for like type of theft, the biggest theft out there was actually wage theft.
Oh yeah.
And so like companies not paying their employees correctly is the actual biggest theft there is, like statistically and value wise. That is where most of like it's where most of the money is.
Absolutely. But that's not thought.
But that's not viewed as so bad and fucking.
Because it's different. It's like they're not just breaking into your store and grabbing shit. They're fucking, here's your pay. $3 missing here. They're doing that to 200 people.
Yeah. Well,
it's so much more.
It's
different.
under the table kind of like where if I walk into Woolworths, grab a watermelon and walk out with it, that's very visible.
Yeah.
But if you see in that same Woolworths, some guy passes someone a check and it's $3 short.
And this guy doesn't even know.
That's not visible. No one's going to see that.
Nah.
Only the business and that guy know.
Yeah, and a lot of times people wouldn't even know. I mean, people aren't up to date on that sort of stuff. It's confusing. You know what I mean? Like, to work out what's minimum wage, it's all different in different industries and shit like that. It's like
pay differently. It's you have a different award or some shit, and it's just it changes depending on where you are.
Yeah. Well, I think it's interesting. Like that's the route we've gone. I wonder how that might change with this. Like, sort of, seems like a shift is coming in cultural influence. Like, fuck, who was it Dave Chappelle that sort of made that big comedy thing about he was shitting on trans movement or something?
Yeah.
He started, and then all of a sudden, Ricky Gervais, fucking every other cunt is doing it. I reckon comedians are kind of, it's the lowest art form there is. No, it's just like, but they kind of like, they say it first, then random, whatever on the street starts saying it too.
Comedians are really like political, not political, but like social commentators. As in, they pretty much any great comedian is talking about social structures.
Yeah.
And he's making jokes about like, oh, why is that weird or stupid or fucking why is this worse than this? But they have that right to be able to be like, oh, well, you can't get angry at Dave Chappelle for joking at trans people because he's just commenting on something.
Yeah.
And he's making light of something that isn't great.
And they can do it in a way where it's like, I could say something I don't even, like if I was a comedian, I could say something I don't even agree with. So there's always that element of, he could be shitting on trans people, but he's not actually doing it. Maybe he doesn't even believe that at all. I reckon a lot of them do mean it. You can kind of pick what someone's beliefs are by what jokes they're saying.
Well, you see, Dave Chappelle got heaps of hate in one of his specials, being like joking about trans people. I think in one of his latest ones, big heartfelt story at the end where he talks about one of his friends that was trans killed themselves because of hate they received. So he obviously has a trans friend. He's lost a trans friend because of bullshit. But that doesn't mean you can't make jokes about it,
No, I can't remember what he said, to be honest. But I just remember that sort of being a big breaking point where everyone started doing it after.
I couldn't tell you what he said either, but I remember...
I remember that bit, though, the story.
Yeah, but it's like, this guy obviously isn't hateful. He doesn't fucking wish they were all dead and all that. He obviously is a nice guy.
Yeah.
But it's treated as if, like, oh, he's a fucking transphobe and all that. It's like, well, he's not.
No.
Because if you actually listen to him, he clearly makes it very obvious that he's not. Because, like, what transphobe would have a trans friend that they cared about and paid for their like kids' college and all that shit because they died? What transphobe would do that? That doesn't make sense.
No, that's a classic thing. It's like, for ages, all the fucking libs and shit like that, they'd be like, oh, you have a black friend, that doesn't make you not a racist. It's like, yeah, it fucking does.
Yeah. Oh, mate.
It was like a meme. It's like, they always say, oh, I have a black friend. That's a fucking excellent point. You can actually hang out with someone, not because you're just trying to look like, oh, I have a black friend. You actually have a friend. But that's a massive point. If you can be friends with someone like that, sorry, go, but I basically said what I'm saying.
Yeah, there was, there's a Twitter page called Delusional Takes.
Mm,
And they posted a screenshot of someone's tweet, and it was talking about Bill Burr, because Bill Burr has a black wife. And they were saying that, Bill Burr can still be racist because maybe he just wants a fucking black sex slave.
Mm.
It's his fucking wife that he lives day in, day out with. And do you think he hates her? He can't stand the colour of her? Or do you think that he just loves a woman?
Yeah, it's fucking so retarded, man.
But he can still be racist. No, he can't be. He cannot be racist. His kids are going to be mixed race.
Mm. I mean, you could
He's
be a
not
fucking...
gonna
You
hate
could be. He could be.
It's possible. But if you're just going to look at anyone that... Like, this was... any interracial couple, it's like, the white guy's racist. It's so ridiculous.
Yeah, no, it is so... The whole thing is crazy. I think that point, they turned it into a meme. That's what annoyed me, because by turning it into a meme, they made it so like you couldn't be like, oh yeah, you couldn't. It was like, you can't just say that points. You couldn't. You'd have to do a different point.
Mm.
I mean, you should have other points, whatever. If you're gonna go down that route, I guess, whatever. But like, it's a good argument, I think, like that.
Mm. Yeah, I was actually there was something recently happened in Western Australia. There was a big debate, like some Aboriginal kid got murdered by some guy, and how it was phrased by this person, which sparked big debates. Like, there was a lynching in Western Australia, and fucking none of the media is talking about it. But it's like, this was lynching by definition is like a mob killing someone without trial, typically by hanging.
Yeah, right.
So it doesn't have to be by hanging or fucking, but it typically by hanging. So what it was some guy accused some kid of damaging his car, got out of his car and hit the kid with a metal pipe.
Yeah, right, okay, yeah.
So
right.
Is this a lynching? Because this isn't mob justice where they're just no trial, just killing somebody.
This is fucking
This
road
is one
rage.
guy fucking, pissed off about whatever, doing a fucking horrible act.
Mm.
Like killing someone, obviously bad. This is obviously bad, but this isn't a race crime.
No.
This isn't a lynching. This is just another fucking horrible act that happened.
Yeah, exactly. It's tragic.
Obviously, horribly tragic. Like I think it was like a teenager that died.
Mm.
Horribly tragic. But to treat it like it's this race crime and all this bullshit, it's like it's a mockery to their fucking death, because it's like you're using their death, which was just some not hateful act. It was obviously
It was hateful act, but not
It
racially hateful.
wasn't racially hateful, but you're using it to push your political agenda.
Mm.
Instead of knowing what it was is just this fucking, obviously a horrible society where you care so much about your car getting damaged, you kill a kid. That's not fucking good, and that's a sign of a fucking sick society.
Mm.
But to use that to push this agenda that everybody's racist and we got to do something about it, that's just not true.
No, it's definitely not true. And I think we talked about it last time. Like, you don't really come across racists, like severe racists and shit.
Mm.
It's not a common thing. That shit's pretty much there's obviously people on Twitter that are racist and shit like that. Like, you see like some right wingers, they like go all fucking all these intellectual words and shit like to describe how racism is good or whatever, you know what I'm talking about. But like, in general, if I'm just hanging out with a group of mates and friends of friends, no one's like that.
No.
The media loves the... Well, it's one of those things, it's like, saying that story, you're going to get all these people that go, that guy's fucking evil, they're trying to start a race war or whatever, and then all the people... It's great news.
Mm.
It's great for the media, because everyone's going to be arguing whether he was a racist, whether it's a lynching, whether it's this or that. I mean, they're fucking talking about it.
Mm.
It's crazy. It's the same with, obviously breaking news, Kyle Rittenhouse.
Mm.
That, how that shit happened. It's like, if you weren't really paying attention, you would have thought he went up to a crowd of black people and just opened fire.
Yeah, well, fucking, I think Biden, the president at the time, said that he was a racist and was doing all this weird shit, called him a right wing fascist and all this shit. It's a kid who got attacked at he had a gun in a fucking riot.
Mm.
All right, which it was legal to have the gun there, but people were attacking him, trying to kill him. One of the guys had a gun, and it's like, these people were trying to kill him, and he killed them instead.
Yeah, exactly.
And, it's like,
and obviously, it was self-defense. There's definitely an argument to say, not legally, but to say, is the kid stupid for doing that? Is he not shooting? Fuck, you're getting chased by guns trying to hit you or whatever, and you got a gun and you're going to do it. But
is he stupid?
If he's stupid going in the first place, no doubt. Stupid for going in the first place, but that's not
wasn't
illegal.
A crime. Wasn't illegal. It's not a crime to do something stupid.
No.
So it's just so but how he was trialled by media, and then and then when it actually came to a court of law, he was okay. He was innocent.
Yeah, exactly.
But how everyone was trying to push that he's this evil, fucking conniving young guy trying to kill black people. He didn't kill a black person.
No, one of them was a fucking pedophile, and the other one had multiple cases of beating women or something like that. And that doesn't really play into it in the sense of he didn't obviously know that when he shot them.
Doesn't justify it.
Yeah, but it wasn't how they portrayed it.
Yeah, definitely.
It's like when they framed the guy that killed George Floyd. What's his name?
Oh my god. Fucking something Chauvin or some shit. Oh no.
Alright, when it came to that video, that was fucked.
That was fucked.
And I don't know if that was racially motivated.
Actually, I've heard that they actually knew each other as well.
Yeah, there's weird stories,
they were
man.
bodyguarded together or some shit.
Yeah, that's right.
And it was... So, they knew each other, and someone... fuck me, it could have been racially motivated. Who knows? No, I fucking haven't been watching what Chauvin said or said before, but... does the hit... What happened... I don't know what to say about that.
Yeah, no, I was just taking the piss on that.
Yeah, no, it's pretty much... It's fuck video, not great.
Nah, fuck. Yeah, he's probably in some strife.
He was found guilty, wasn't he?
Yes, yeah, definitely. Yeah. That one, I was surprised. If you're on the written, it was so clearly self-defense. And it's like, fuck, in this world, man, they could use that as they have a lot of influence, especially the media circus that was all about it. I don't know, I've seen, unrelated I suppose, but definitely a self-defense. Did you see that the article in Britain? Some guy had broken into his house. I don't know if the guy's black, this is just random, but someone assaulted his mother and he got a knife and stabbed him, and the guy died. In his house, in his own house. He killed someone else.
Yeah.
And he got sentenced to jail for 3.5 years. For
You're defending your mother.
Yeah, so it's like, man, they do some wild fucking, I think that was in England or something. They have some wild calls out there though on the court system. So I was like, I don't know, Kyle Rittenhouse, I was like, fuck it, I wonder what's going to happen there.
Well, if you look at how typically left-wing media portrays criminals and shit like that, or portrays who they say is in the wrong. I remember on the trial of Kyle Rittenhouse, Kyle's recounting the events and he's fucking crying. Can't get the words out. They have to take a break. And it's the left-wing media CNN is oh, look at him, fucking crocodile tears, all this bullshit. And then you have this Christmas Day parade or some shit where some black guy is driven through a fucking parade, killed a little kid, and 60 people or something were injured, and there was a few deaths, and he comes into court crying, saying he's sorry, and it's look at the fucking heart-wrenching tears from this fucking guy. It's he drove through a crowd, killed people, and now he's crying. Kyle Rittenhouse killed people in self-defense, cried on thing, and you made fun of him.
Yeah, I know.
This is a 17-year-old kid that clearly has PTSD from the events, making fun of him, but then you're glorifying, saying these heartfelt tears coming from a guy who drove through a parade.
Yeah, and that was fucked up.
That's not self-defense.
No, I actually seen, he actually recently got prosecuted probably a couple of days ago. And in the, I don't know who posted, must be some, and they basically put in there that he was a white supremacist.
The guy that drove the car.
Not joking, man. White supremacist, and there's screenshots of him on Twitter or Facebook or whatever saying white people are gonna have held a bail. I can't remember the wording, but basically saying fuck white people, and they painted him as a white supremacist.
Just quickly want to hit this topic on censorship. Recently, there was an old man in the UK got arrested for posting something on Facebook, and what he posted, it was a meme of the trans, not the trans flag, but the LGBTQI whatever fucking flag, but it was arranged in a way that it made a swastika.
Okay,
and he posted that to Facebook, and there's a video of the cops showing up to his house and arresting him for that post.
Oh, yeah, it's fucking nuts.
How can you get arrested for that?
It just goes to prove the point of the post.
Yeah, it actually kind of does.
You criticise the fucking woke movement as being authoritative, fascist, whatever. Fascist is obviously a stretch. There's not really a racial element in there, but authoritative and authoritarian and dominating, and he gets arrested. Yeah, that's fucked.
It's actually kind of ironic when you think of it like that.
It's pretty funny, fucking UK, when they talk about that shit, because they just get policed to fucking no end over there. I mean, it's similar over here, like you saying, they banned the Nazi flag and all that.
Yeah.
Nah, I think anyway, we should wrap it up. We fucking smashed it out now.
Yeah. Alright, well, thank you for watching. This is our second episode, and yeah, we're going to make more, and give us a follow. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter. Yeah.
Thank you. That's lads.